I was 11 when the night swallowed me whole. I can still hear the screams of my family, the cold grip of his hand on my arm, and the flicker of torchlight against his pale, emotionless face. He took me away from everything I knew, away from warmth, into a place where the air smelled of death and shadows crept like predators. His name was Ambrose, a name that dripped like honey but was as sharp as broken glass. He was a vampire, and I became his slave. I had heard the tales, stories of monsters that drank the blood of the living, beings that could command you with their gaze, but nothing prepared me for the real thing. His castle was an endless labyrinth of stone, silence, and secrets. He made me scrub floors until my hands bled, light candles that burned endlessly, and clean the goblets he filled with crimson. At first I hated him with every fibre of my being. I called him a monster to his face, threw plates at him and refused to eat. He laughed at my defiance, a sound like ice cracking on a frozen river, and told me I'd soon learn submission. But I never did. Years passed. I was 16 now, taller and stronger, but still his prisoner. Somewhere along the way, the terror gave way to something complicated. Ambrose no longer barked orders, instead his voice softened when he spoke my name. His cold, sharp eyes would linger on me, not with disdain, but with something else. It started with the little things. He'd brush his hand against mine when taking a goblet, his touch lingering too long. He would watch me with an intensity that made my skin crawl and my heart race. Once, when I cut my finger cleaning a dagger, he grabbed my hand, his gaze fixed on the drop of blood welling up. I thought he would drink it, but instead he wrapped my hand in a silk handkerchief, his expression unreadable. One night, everything changed. I was in the library, dusting the endless shelves of forgotten books, when he appeared. His movements were always silent, but I could feel him before I saw him. The weight of his presence was undeniable. "You've grown, Cat," he said, his voice soft, almost gentle. I stiffened, refusing to meet his gaze. "Because you've kept me here, trapped like an animal." He stepped closer, his shadow engulfing me. "And yet, you remain untamed." Something in his tone made me look at him. His face, usually carved from stone, was softer, sadder. It was the first time I saw him as more than a monster. "What do young wost from me?" I asked, my voice trembling. He hesitated, as if the question itself pained him. "Everything," he whispered. "And nothing." That was the beginning of the end. Ambrose started treating me differently. He stopped giving me orders, instead asking for my company. He taught me how to read the ancient texts in his library, how to play haunting melodies on the piano, how to dance in the moonlight. At first I resisted, convinced it was another form of manipulation. But then there were moments, fleeting but undeniable, where I saw glimpses of someone else beneath the monster. One night, as we danced in the grand hall under the light of 1,000 candles, he pulled me close. His hand rested on the small of my back, and his crimson eyes met mine. "Do you hate me, Cat?" he asked softly. "Yes," I said, but the word lacked conviction. "And yet you're here," he murmured, his lips brushing against my ear. I hated him for what he had done to me, for the life he had stolen. But I couldn't deny the flicker of something else in my chest. Was it sympathy? Understanding? Or something far more dangerous? Our nights became a tangle of forbidden emotions. I saw the guilt in his eyes, the weight of centuries pressing down on him. He told me of his past, how he became what he was, the lives he had taken, the loneliness that clawed at him, and I began to pity him. But pity wasn't enough to erase the terror. There were still nights when he lost control, when his hunger for blood overtook him. He never hurt me, but I saw the monster in him, the beast that lurked beneath the surface. One night, as I sat by the fire, he knelt before me. His hands trembled as he took mine, his gaze desperate. "I don't deserve you," he said, "but I can't let you go." Tears welled in my eyes. "Why did you take me, Ambrose? Why me?" "I don't know," he admitted. "At first it was hunger, but now—" He paused, his voice breaking. "You've become my salvation and my curse." I wanted to hate him. I wanted to scream at him for everything he had done. But when I looked into his eyes, I saw a depth of pain and longing that mirrored my own. "I can't love you," I whispered, my voice trembling. "I know," he said, "but I will love you. For as long as I exist, I will love you." It was a confession that shattered me. His love was not gentle or pure. It was consuming, dangerous, and impossible. Yet, in his own twisted way, it was unconditional. I don't know what the future holds. I am still his prisoner. But the chains feel different now. They are no longer forged from fear, but from something far more complicated. Ambrose is a monster. And yet, he is also the only one who truly sees me. And that terrifies me most of all. Comment continue if you want me to post the next part. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to help me grow my channel.